Alright, so yesterday I went into work. We had to go into work in like 2 hours. But yesterday I went in, and usually Sundays are a pretty easy day. We don't do a lot of volume. People are telling all these tall tales. It's going to be busy. No, it's not going to be busy. We're waiting on 3 trailers. No, we're waiting on 6 trailers. The story changes every fucking 5 minutes, so it's not even worth caring about the details anymore. But I felt so bad for this. We get this new girl, and she's not on our belt. But Sundays, the weekends are like messed up. Like we all just get thrown somewhere because they switch up the program. Like the whole thing is just completely different. So I had worked with her one day, and we got along and stuff. And then yesterday I had to work with her. We just ended up being in the same place. So she was just a sweet person, just sweetheart, great person, fun person. And this driver, like these drivers, they're so, because they're contracted out. They don't actually work for the company. They're contracted out. So I don't know. Some of them, they just get like really pissy. And I actually ran into um, a driver that I used to drive with. Like we used to work together in Boston, and he was like, "Did you used to work for Express?" And he comes up to me like that. I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy to asking me?" And then I take one look at his face, and I'm like, "Oh, I remember you, dude." We were telling stories and shit, but that's a whole other thing. Um, this one driver, he was like shitting all over this girl, and she's trying to do her job, and he's like harassing her and shit. And so that's enough right there. Um, she was a little upset about that. She didn't understand. She was like, "Why is this guy bothering me? I have other things I have to do, like because we all have to load like you know 3 or 4 trucks a person. So she just because he's there, she can't be like worried about that. And she has other packages coming down the belt for other trucks that she has to. That's priority. You have to get them off the belt and into the trucks. And if this guy's here, like you made the conscious decision to come in early. You're not getting paid hourly; you're paid salary. So I mean, you could just come in at 9:30 and just your truck's loaded, and you could. But some of these drivers, they come in early because they want to reorganize their truck a certain way. Um, like at the hub in New York City, I was told they don't even they don't load the trucks at all. They just stage everything outside the truck because the drivers know where they want their packages, and it's this whole fucked up system where like we're looking at a number, they're looking at an address. It's important to communicate and like try I talk to the drivers whose trucks I load, and I figure out how they want their trucks loaded, so that way I don't look like an asshole and they have an easy day. Anyway, this driver's harassing her, and she's already like a little upset about that. Not too rattled or anything, but just kind of like, what the fuck. And because this guy was like in her head and like bothering her, she ended up banging her knee on like a metal rail, and man, she was standing over. She was working across from me, so she's standing over there with her pant leg up and like holding her knee. I'm like, "Are you all right?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll be okay," but she was like crying, like the look on her face, you could tell she was in serious pain. She wasn't bleeding or anything, but she really fucking banged up her knee. And I know from experience that those rails are no joke. They're no fucking joke. Like you bang your knee on one of those, man, you tapped out for at least a few minutes, if not, you know, taking the back door, going home for the day. Um, so she's over there crying, like, and she looks like she's in so much pain. I looked her in the eye. I was like, "Do you need to get out of here? Like, I can find a manager, or I can get you out of here. I have a lot of clout here because of all the extra shit that I do that nobody asked me to do. People listen to me. If you feel like you can't like tell a manager that you need to go home, I'll get you out of here. It's it's no thing." And she just kind of like she shook her head. She was like, "No, I'll just stay." She ended up talking to a couple managers, and then that's when I learned um, that this driver was like really sort of harassing her. Like, she had told me something, and like I let 15 minutes go by, and she said something else, and I was like, "Is he still bothering you?" I was like, "I'll go fucking talk to him." And she ended up staying. Um, but it's the kind of thing like you don't want to lose like good people who are just trying to work a job. Uh, some people are like a little more innocent. They come in and like this other kid, these guys used to pick on him, and we had to like defend him. And so he's diary of a wimpy kid, like just nobody wants to hear him. No, nobody wants to work with him because he's not. It's, it's the environment. It's the industry. Like a lot of us are fucking, we're fucking bruisers. A lot of us are drug addicts and alcoholics. But this kid comes out of nowhere, and I don't know. He's not cut for it, but he is. Um, he's nerdy. Let's just leave it at that. So these guys are making fun of him, and like I don't know. Now every day, like when I see him, I just like I bump fists with him. I'm like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Just because you gotta, when you work with people, you gotta like you have to invite them to, but you have to make them feel comfortable, like that they're in a good work environment. That's what people have done more for me. That I gotta give back. Like you have to make people feel like they're in a good place, and they're just like working a job, and they can come in, make some money, do some work, and go home happy. That's the most important thing, and we do a pretty good job of it. But every once in a while, somebody falls by the wayside, and like you got to pick them up. So I mean, that kid, he's happy now. He's doing a good job. He used to do like nothing. Like he, he used to just stand there and like we'd be like, "What are you doing? Can you split the packages, please? So so we can get this done." Like if you're not in the industry, you wouldn't understand. But it's like if you're a splitter, which he was at the time, now he loads trucks with us. But if you're just merely a splitter, all you have to do is look at odd and even numbers and split them across the belt. That's all you have to do. And he wasn't even doing that. He'd be standing there with his hands in his pockets. He's come a long way. Yeah. He's got a future. He's like, his father's an electrician. He's gonna go into that business with him and stuff. He's just waiting on that. He's got to go to school and stuff. This isn't for him really, but he's there. He exists. That's what you got to recognize. Like, you have to take care of your people. Uh, you might not like a coworker very much, but you still have to be there with them. It's very important. Um, and this poor girl, like, she's tough, but what I don't like is the idea that it like pains me to think that she hurt her knee and she's got a driver harassing her, and then, what if she just says fuck it and just stop showing up? I hate that, because everybody deserves to work whatever job they want to work. If she chose this, then she should be able to come in and feel comfortable and feel like she has good people around her, and not be harassed by some fucking asshole driver who's making like, $1,500 a week to do absolute shit. Um, some of those drivers, they're just like little bitches. They're just, your contractors are giving you the world, and you're just shitting all over it. And so, like, one of the other managers came over, and he was telling me what was going on. And I guess, like, he was really railing into her, this driver. So she went and talked to one of the managers for a while. She ended up sticking around. But, just work stories. I like to document this stuff. This is my life. And even one day at FedEx, you could write a fucking novel. All the shit that goes on. It's ridiculous. Like, we got a jam the other day, um, on our belt, on belt 3, and there's a jam, and I thought this kid was fucking with me, because we haven't been on good terms. I told this story the other night about this kid that we had a falling out, but I thought he was fucking with me because everybody knows that when we get a jam, there was a time I ran from belt 4 to belt 1, which is, I told that story too. That's a very long distance to run for something that nobody asked you to do. And it was all for naught, but anyway, we got a jam, so we climb up in the tower, and the thing, you can't put ICs up the belt. You can't put them up the belt. I would like everybody from the unload to come to the belts and take a look at the size of the chute. If you put a piece of furniture up there, it's gonna get stuck in there, and then we're fucked, because everything gets backed up, and then we got to deal with that. And this shit just happens. And I was up there. I was trying to like pry it was like jammed in, and I was trying to pry it out, and it was too heavy. And I'm like, I'm an alcoholic. Like, I don't have any muscles anymore. I'm fucking weak these days. Trying to pull it out, and I just yelled. Like, you can't fucking be throwing ICs up the belt. And so the woman who's in charge in the back, where they're loading the stuff onto the belt, she gets on the walkie and she's like, "Yeah, can somebody keep an eye on so and so? I think he's putting ICs up the belt." I was like, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's great." After the fact, yeah. Why weren't you guys keeping an eye on him before? Like, what the fuck? I got stories for days. But, that's about it. Just felt so bad for that girl. I don't know, she was like crying and shit. It's fucking. It's not right. And it's not right to have somebody harassing you and shit. You gotta be able to come into work, do your job, and feel comfortable. Some of us, like, we deal with worse things, but it is what it is. I mean, if you see somebody who's like a little more of like a sensitive type, you know, take care of them. Like, just look out for them. That's all we got. Everybody's got to work, and there's all kinds of different people in this world. And you need to. The only way that a comfortable, fun work environment exists is if people create that. So you have to do that. Like, I joke around too, I joke around with everybody. I do what I can. Other people do what they can, and we all just coexist and work together. And that's what I love about this job. I love it. UPS, totally different. Totally different. But FedEx is a great place to work, and I'm proud to work there. And I love all the people I work with. They're all great. And there's some work stories. Save them for a rainy day.